Okay, good evening. Welcome to Math for Kids number 49. Today we're going to talk about fractions. And a little different than usual because... What are you doing?
Making a line.
We did the homework problems. I'm having a hard time coming up with creative versions of the homework problems. So the homework problems for today should have been Olympiad 21, problem number 1 and problem number 2, but we just went ahead and did those ourselves and decided we'd make kind of a fun video about fractions, right?
Yep.
Okay, so specifically about fractions, today we're going to talk about adding fractions. So if you need a little bit of background on fractions before you watch this video. So let's talk about simple one to do first. How about 2/5 plus 1/5? How would you think about doing something like this?
Well, the denominators are already the same.
The denominators are already the same. So this is just like adding
1 plus 2.
1 plus 2. And what do we get?
3/5.
3/5. Okay? And let's take a look at this on a number line, just to make sure we understand what this means. So if we have a number line that starts at 0 and goes up to 1, call this 1, and we divide it into 5 bits, so this would be 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, and 5/5. What do we usually call 5/5?
1.
1. Okay?
Here's 0/5.
0/5 is right there, right? So if we have 2/5, this says go over 2/5, and then go over 1 more 5th, you get to 3/5. So that's actually not too hard, okay? And that's going to work for any kind of fraction, as long as the denominators are the same. So what happens if I say 3/7 minus 1/7? What do you do here?
It's just like 3 minus 1.
Okay, so you get 3.
2 sevenths.
2 7ths. Okay. And again, if we look at it on the number line,
So that in the sevenths instead.
it's going to look pretty similar to this. Okay, ooh, trying to chop into 7s is going to be hard. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 1/7, 2 7ths, 3 7ths, 4 7ths, 5 7ths, 6 7ths, and 7 7ths.
And 0 sevenths.
And 0 7ths. Okay, so this says go over 3 7ths. And now go back 1 7th. And we end up at 2 7ths. So that's pretty happy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now let's look at a picture of another one. How about 1/2 plus 1/3? So let's look at the picture here. Well, we can divide into halves. That's easy. Here's 1/2. And then this would be 2 halves. Or we can divide into thirds as well. Can I use yours to color the thirds just a different color? 1/3, 2/3, and then 3/3. Okay, there you go. But now this says go over 1/2, and then go over 1/3. It's like, ah! What's that? I don't really know what that is right there. And so,
The denominators.
what do you need to do in order to add two fractions that have different
The
denominators?
denominators the same. And
Okay.
The simplest way to do that is just multiply this one by this denominator, and this one by this denominator.
What do you mean when you say multiply this one by this denominator?
I say multiply this guy
Yeah.
by the other one's denominator.
So you multiply 1/2 by 3.
No, 3 over 3 and 2 over 2.
3 over 3 and 2 over 2. But why can't I just multiply by 3 over 3? I don't understand. I
Because
can't
3
just.
over 3 is 1.
Oh. 3 over 3 is 1. That's interesting. So I'm really just multiplying this fraction by 1. So this is 1/2 times 1, but it's a funny form of 1. And this is 1/3 also times 1.
But it's another funny form of
It's a
1.
funny form of 1. Are we going to put our hoods on? Oh, shoot, I don't have one. Okay, so let me write that
I think you should
again. Is my shirt inside out? Could be. 1/2 plus 1/3. So we multiply this one. We're trying to get the denominators the same. So we multiply by a funny form of 1, 3 over 3. And we multiply this one by a funny form of 1, 2 over 2. We take that denominator. And now we get 3/6. Well, is 3/6 the same as 1/2?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is actually. Oh, that's neat. Plus 2/6. Is 2/6 the same as 1/3?
Yeah.
Now we get 3/6 plus 2/6. Hey, we know how to do this.
This equals 5/6.
5/6. Oh, how interesting. So if we were going to make sixths here, we would say 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, 5/6. Hey, this must be 5/6. And then this is, 1 is, of course, 6/6. Well, that's pretty neat. Do you think this always works?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's see. I'm not going to draw the number line anymore, but let's see if we have maybe a little more complicated fraction. How about a 4th plus 3/5? Huh. I don't really know what that is. What's your method that you think will work here? Cleverly multiply that one by 5/5. Okay, and cleverly multiply this one by what?
4/4.
Interesting. So what does this fraction become? I'll write it out.
Okay, this is 5/20
5/20
plus 12/20. And we know how to do that,
What does that equal to?
because this just equals 17/20.
Huh. I'll be darned. 17/20. Okay. Does it work for subtraction too?
Let's see.
How about 2/3 minus 1/8? Oh, okay. So what are you going to do? Wait a minute. Before you start writing, what's the idea? What do you need to do in order to subtract two fractions?
You need the denominators the same again.
You need to get the denominators the same. Okay, great. So how do you get the denominators the same?
The same way.
You multiply by 8/8, because you want to make this 8 times 3 on the bottom, and you multiply that one by 3/3, because you want to make it 8 times 3 on the bottom. So that's interesting. So this becomes what?
So this is 16/24.
Okay.
And minus 3/24. And that just equals 13/24.
Wow, that's really neat. All right, let's do one more. Maybe kind of a crazy one. Okay. How about I don't know. Make one up. You make it up.
How about 1/5 minus 1/4 plus 1/2.
Whoa. Okay. Wait. Let's switch sides, because I'm gonna have you work this out, and I don't want you to block the camera. 1/5 minus 1/4 plus 1/2. Okay. Let's write it a little bigger. 1/5 minus 1/4 plus 1/2. This is pretty interesting. You picked a pretty tricky problem. All right. How are you going to do this?
Well, let's do a little concept of least common multiple here.
Oh, okay. How does this concept of least common multiple work?
Well, I think I know we'll have to do the least common multiple of the denominators, 5, 1, 2.
Okay. Well, let's not talk about least common multiple. What's a number that 5, 4, and 2 all go into?
20.
20. Okay. So it'd be great if we could make the bottom 20 here, because 5 goes into 20, 4 goes into 20, and 2 goes into 20. That's a great idea.
We can do that.
We can do that. Okay.
We multiply this guy by 4/4.
All right. 4/4. That gets us a 4 times 5 on the bottom, and we're multiplying by 1.
And this guy goes 5/5.
5/5.
And 10/10.
Holy moly, that seems pretty complicated. How did you think to do that?
Complifying.
You complified it. Okay, great.
Okay, this is 4/20 minus 5/20 plus 10/20.
Whoa.
Well,
4/20 minus 5/20 plus 10/20. Okay.
we have minus 1.
9/20. So, can you believe that? 1/5 minus 1/4 plus 1/2 is 9/20. That's really neat.
My math has spun a web around 9/20.
You spun a web around 9/20. Okay, well that's a great video about fractions. Good job, and hopefully that helps you if you're trying to understand how to add fractions.
Awesome!